Good evening, everybody. It's Charlie, and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Hope everyone has had a great Friday so far. It's finally the weekend, which can only mean one thing. It's time for a match preview on the channel. Yes, Leeds United taking on Luton Town at Kenilworth Road tomorrow afternoon in the early kickoff. So we'll get into that in just a second. But before we do, all the boring stuff at the beginning. Yes, I ask you every video, guys, but please make sure that you are smashing that like button. It really does help get the video out there to more people. Please subscribe to the channel if you are brand new, along with hitting that notification bell so that you're always aware of when I'm uploading and going live. And of course, get all your thoughts, get all your opinions into the comment section down below. And like I always say as well, make sure you're checking out the membership features. I'm still in the process of just trying to figure out all of the logistics for the membership perks on the channel, but make sure that you're checking that out if you want to help the channel. So yeah, let's get into it then. Luton away tomorrow. Massive game. I think they're all massive now. It is stating the obvious a little bit, but especially after the disappointment of last weekend, not managing to get that over the line. This is just huge. And, all those people out there who think this will be a difficult game just because Luton are fighting to stay in the league, people are making out like they're the only team that have got something to fight for. We have as well. We're fighting to get out of this league. So if that's not enough motivation for the players to go out there and get the job done, I don't know what is. I really don't know what is. Obviously, as I touched upon last night in my press conference reaction, which if you haven't already, go and check that out. Carl Darlow is set to replace Illan Meslier, and I think, look, we can all agree, even the biggest Illan Meslier fans out there can agree that this is the right decision for Leeds United moving forward. Maybe he is a good goalkeeper deep down. I mean, I tend to disagree with that, but if we're playing devil's advocate, there may be a keeper in there. But at the minute, his confidence is just on its arse. And I just don't see a future for him at Leeds United now. And it is a shame. It is a shame that it has come to this. And, I understand that he is a human being and all that jazz. But I'm a Leeds United fan. I'm not an Illan Meslier fan. And if it means Leeds United get automatic promotion, get Illan Meslier out of the team. And that's what he's done. He informed him quite early on in the week, which is good. It means Carl Darlow has managed to get his head around the fact that he'll be playing every game now until the end of this season. For somebody that's not played a lot of regular football of late, it's probably quite a big thing for him to get his head round. The good thing with Darlow is that he's coming into it quite, with quite a bit of match sharpness, having played both games for Wales in the international break, which is good. And I actually think it'll benefit the 10 players in front of him so much. I think, I hope that it will add a lot more confidence into the group now, just knowing that they've got a more stable goalkeeper behind them. Darlow could make a mistake, but I would still rather have him in goal over Illan Meslier any day of the week. Any day of the week. I just think he's cost us too many points this season. And I think we can all agree that Farke has made the right decision. Yes, it's frustrating that he's made it this late on in the season. He could have made it after Hull, after Sunderland, but he's come to his senses now. I think Parag Marate has probably stepped in and just said, look, mate, financially, we need to get up. So do everything you can to get us up. If that means you've got to upset Illan Meslier, then upset Illan Meslier. And hopefully, Carl Darlow can come in and do an adequate job to help us get this one over the line. Another change that I think needs to happen, I think Nonto needs to come into that 10. I think we can all agree the impact that Nonto is having on the team recently is positive. Brendan Aronson, I know he scored against Swansea, but apart from that, what did he really do? He didn't offer anything in that attacking third of the pitch. He just runs around behind Joel Perreault. Brilliant. I could go and do that. Doesn't mean I'm an effective number 10, does it? And I think Laji Ramazani should come in as well. I think there's an argument that Solomon should be dropped based on his recent performances. I just don't think he's been at the races for a while now, and probably would benefit from a rest, given the fact that we've got, on paper, a more difficult game on Tuesday night at the Riverside against Middlesbrough. Dan James, I've said it a few times recently, I would keep Dan James in just for his pace alone, just what he can add. And obviously the relationship that he's got with Jayden Bogle's quite strong as well. I think Largy Ramazani and Nonto in the same team just adds something different in that attacking third and just a little bit of spice going forward. And, Joe Perreault, for me, needs a goal. He has gone a few games without scoring now. It's a little bit of a drought that he's going through. I think he's the second top scorer in the division still, which is good. But, he had a bit of a swagger about him not too long ago. He was full of confidence. Let's see if we can get that back. The midfield as well. If Ampadu's fit enough, I think he'll will come in, and I think it'll be good to have Ampadu in there, especially given that it's an away game. I was listening to the Square Ball earlier on today. They had Tony Dorigo on, and they were discussing the prospect of maybe Ampadu and Gruev playing in the double pivot, especially if Nonto does come into the 10. Can kind of understand that argument, just to add a little bit more defensive stability, but I do still think it would be quite negative to go with that as a midfield pivot. I think it should be Ampadu and Tanaka all day long. I know Tanaka didn't really do well when he came on last week, but let's be honest, who did play well last week of any note anyway? So yeah, Ampadu and Tanaka for me, and then obviously the usual back four along with Carl Darlow. Now Luton are coming in to the game unbeaten in the last 5 games, I believe. So they're obviously going to be full of confidence. Like I said earlier, they are fighting to stay in the league, but we're also fighting to get out of the league. I think it'll be quite a physical game. I think it could be similar to Portsmouth. Kenilworth Road as a ground. It's quite close to the pitch. It can be quite intimidating. I think they'll try and do that to frustrate Leeds United, just like Portsmouth did, and they had a lot of joy doing that day. So I do think they'll opt with that tactic. I think they'll try and beat us up in there. So it's about having, just that concentration, that focus, just to not get dragged down to their level. And, just to play our game. We know we've got the quality to go to Luton and get the win, 100%. On paper, our squad is levels above theirs. Crazy to think that they were a Premier League club last season and now they're fighting with every fibre of their being to stay in the Championship. It's absolutely crazy. But, it's the position that they find themselves in, especially the fact, Derby won the other night, so they'll be wanting to put pressure on them. And, obviously there's Plymouth and Hull and other teams and Cardiff, in that race to stay up as well. So, it's a big game for them, but it's an even bigger game for Leeds United. Not to bring it to like a negative note, but I do... If we lose this game and Burnley and Sheffield United both win, is that game over? Mathematically, no, but I just think it would be very, very difficult. I think we'd be in big trouble if that is the case. On the flip side, if we can get the win tomorrow and Coventry can do us a favour against Burnley, I think Sheffield United will definitely beat Oxford. I would be very surprised if they were to even draw that game, never mind get beat. But, if we can win and if Burnley can drop points at Coventry, there's a bit of a gap again and the world is a little bit better, isn't it? So, again, on the flip side, though, you kind of just got to focus on us, haven't you? It's probably a good thing that Burnley are playing at the same time as us so that I don't have to fully concentrate on what's going on at the CBS Arena. We can just focus on what is going on at Kenilworth Road. But like I say, massive, massive game for Leeds United. Hopefully, we can get back on track. If you're asking me for a score prediction, I think it's going to be very tight. I think we'll just get it over the line. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Leeds United win to get us back on track and to make everyone feel a little bit better and just to take a sigh of relief. And then we move on to Middlesbrough on Tuesday. But that is a topic for another video. But hit me up in the comment section, guys. How are you feeling going into tomorrow's game with Luton? Hit me up with your score predictions in the comment section down below as well. Please make sure that you're liking, make sure you're commenting and subscribing, notification bell, check out the memberships, all that jazz. Fingers crossed for 3 points, and I will see you in a bit. Cheers.